am a couple minutes late. I got to tell y'all, there is something, a bad habit that I have gotten into, and I need to get out of it. So we are going to talk about that a little bit this morning as far as our Wisdom Wednesday. So how many of y'all get caught up in looking at your email or your Facebook notifications or your whatever first thing in the morning? Anybody a victim of doing that? How many of y'all out there find yourself checking your Facebook or doing those sort of things first thing in the morning before you do anything else? Anybody else out there do that? Nobody? I'm like, am I the only one? I'm sitting here thinking there's no way possible I'm the only one who does this. Okay. So I'm telling you, this is something that I need to get out of the habit of doing, because I find myself, you know, feeling like I need to like immediately respond to these things. Okay. So I constantly am doing this like catch up thing first thing in the morning, where it's like, okay, well, I'm going to take a couple minutes to do this, to do this, to do this, to do this. And before I know it, I'm looking at the time going, oh my word, I seriously have like, 20 minutes to get myself ready, get my stuff set up, get everything taken care of. So this is something that I am speaking to you on today out of total necessity to call myself out on this. Okay. I have a bad habit. I plug my phone in right beside my bed. Okay. So my phone is plugged in right beside my bed. So the very first thing I do, the second that my alarm on my phone, mind you, is going off, it's like that automatic of, okay, well, while I'm here, I may as well just do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. And before I know it, once I have responded back to messages that have come through, emails that have come through, etc., I'm suddenly realizing that I don't have as much time left as I thought I did. And then I find myself like scurrying at the last minute to try and be here at 8 o'clock. Okay. Now, yesterday was a little bit of a different story. Yesterday, I actually was ready, but we were dealing with some family things that I needed to take care of before I could get on here. So it's kind of one of those things where sometimes I'm not going to be here at 8 o'clock simply because I have things that I need to tend to with my family, and they come first. Okay. And I know y'all understand that, because I'm sure your families come before I do. Okay. So I totally get that. All right. But I need to get myself out of the mindset of thinking that those emails, those messages, those whatever can't wait until after I'm done with my Periscope. Like, I need to get into the habit of just getting up, because y'all, I wake up at 6 o'clock. That's 2 hours. All right. Now I can get ready in about 20, 30 minutes. I don't like to, because then I feel like I'm being rushed. But there's no reason, if I'm already getting up at 6 o'clock. Okay, who am I kidding? 6:15, because I do hit the snooze a couple times. Okay, so if I get up at 6:15, there's no reason that I can't be here and be set up and ready to go by 8 o'clock if I leave my phone alone until after my scope. So that is the tip that I am bringing to you today, is stop getting on your phone first thing in the morning. Do what you need to do. Get yourself ready for the day. Get yourself where you need to be. Do all those things. And then check your messages. We have become a society who feels like we need to be heard immediately, like right then and there. Hence, probably why we have live broadcasting. Okay. But here's the thing. Go to your Bible and then your coffee. Yes. Yes. Okay. Listen, I have a cup of coffee. I'm not even kidding you. Let me grab. Okay. I have this cup of coffee. I don't know if you can see how full this so is. It's literally like right here, because I've had one sip of it since I came out and poured it earlier. Okay. So that's going to need to be reheated. All right. But the point is we get so caught up in thinking that we have to respond back to those things immediately. Dylan, you have no idea. You're speaking my language there. I need my coffee first thing in the morning. I'm not even kidding. But the funny thing is, it will take me almost all day to drink that one cup. One cup. It'll take me till at least lunchtime, and I'll probably have to reheat it about 6 times until then. I don't know. I'm strange. Anyway, so the biggest thing is we feel like we have to be constantly at everyone's beck and call at every minute of every second of every day. Okay? And that's ridiculous. We can't do that, for one, and for two, we shouldn't do that. Because do you know what happens when we are responding back or feeling like we have to respond back within like each second or each minute or even each hour for that matter? What we do is we train people, and I'm not even kidding you on this, we train people what to expect from us. Okay? So if, let's say, we are initially someone who responds back to all phone calls, emails, etc., within a 15-minute time frame. And then, because we're busy doing other things, we're busy living life, we're busy in conference calls, or we're busy whatever, and it takes us a little bit longer to get back to that person is now on the other end. They're getting impatient, and they're like, look, she usually gets back to me within 15 minutes. I don't know why she isn't getting back to me. Why isn't she getting back to me? Okay. And it's really weird how that tends to happen, but it does. It does. I can't even tell you the number of times that people would contact me a second time and be like, hey, you usually get back to me pretty quick. You didn't get back to me yet. Is everything okay? It's like, I'm just busy. Just got something else going on. Okay. So when did we become a society that feels like if I need your attention, you need to be there right then? Who cares that you have a family? Who cares that you have a business to run? Who cares that you have, your own spiritual walk with Jesus that you're on? Who cares that you have all these other things that you're doing? I want something. I want to tell you something. I want to do this. I want to do this. You need to talk to me like right now. Do y'all know that it is perfectly acceptable? Yes, it is perfectly acceptable to respond back to somebody within a 24-hour period. Do y'all know that? It is totally acceptable to respond back to people within a 24-hour period. So why are we feeling like we need to interrupt time with our family? We need to interrupt game time. We need to interrupt all these different things, okay, so that we can respond back to somebody within a 5-minute time frame. Do we really think that if we don't get back to that person within 5 minutes, do you really think that they're going to be like, well, I'm just not going to do business with that person? Okay. Listen, I hate to say it this way, but I'm going to say it. Okay. Here's the thing. If you have someone who is that impatient that they cannot wait between 12 to 24 hours to hear back from you about business, okay? Amen, Dylan. Amen. Okay. If we have people who are not willing to wait 12 to 24 hours for us to get back to them, dare I say that person is going to be a little high maintenance. Okay. And we are training people to be high maintenance. Does that make sense? Like, and that's not a good thing. Okay. It's not a good thing to be so kind of self-absorbed that our time and attention is the only thing that matters. So if we are training people by making sure that we are responding back to them in the next 5 to 15 minutes, instead of doing what we need to do and then putting that person on our to-do list for that day of make sure that we respond back to this person. Okay. What if we did that instead? What if, okay, so let's say somebody emails me at 10 o'clock last night. What if instead of waking up at 6:15 and feeling like I need to try and hurry up and get my thoughts together so I can figure out how to respond back to this person when I literally just woke up 5 minutes ago, okay? I'm not even at my computer yet. I'm not even doing, like, I'm literally still just waking up and in my room, okay? So why not wait to check that email until 8:30 or 9 o'clock when I am more wide awake? I'm at my computer because, hello, I'm using it, okay? So what if we do that, okay? Yes, and here's the thing. Listen, I know it's hard, okay, but I don't know if y'all know this, but if you click on your little, like, if you have a icon for your text messages and it has like a little notification number there that tells you, okay, then it'll tell you how many messages you have there. Do you know that you can open that to see who has messaged you without actually opening the text? Because here's the thing, I am horrible at opening people's text when it's not really an appropriate time for me to get back to them. And then I open it, the notification goes away, okay, because I've opened it now. So then what happens is I totally forget. And then when I am where I'm able to respond back to them, and it is an appropriate time for me to respond back to them, sometimes I tend to forget that they had already messaged me and that I need to get back to them. Okay. Whereas if I would have just opened my text messages, saw who was there, and go, okay, I need to get back to these people, so I'm not going to open it yet, because then that way it will leave the notification there. See that? Okay. At least that's how it works on my Samsung, and that's how it used to work on my iPhone, to the best of my knowledge. Okay. So for me, I'm going, okay, there is a better time. There's a more appropriate time for me to be responding back to this stuff versus when I tell y'all I'm going to be here at 8 o'clock, I need to be here at 8 o'clock. Okay. That is an appointment that I am setting. Does that make sense? Okay. So I need to make sure that I am being on time for appointments versus worrying about someone who has sent me a text, a message, a phone call, whatever, that it is perfectly acceptable for me to take a full 24 hours if needed to get back to them. But listen, like, and here's the thing. Do y'all know where I get the 24 hours from? How many of y'all have ever called a business, like a brick and mortar business, or a customer service line of any kind, okay, and you call them, and what does it do? It'll say that you can either wait, or it'll say, or you can leave a message, and your phone call will be returned within the next 24 hours in the order in which it was received. Okay, but how many of us try to like scroll through everything we have first to see what's an emergency? Okay, and then we tend to forget about those other ones that maybe weren't necessarily emergencies, but we needed to get back to that person. All right, so that's what I'm coming to you here with today is stay off of your phones, stay out of your message box, stay out of your inboxes, everything, when you have someplace you have to be. Okay, when you have something that is already scheduled, that is a scheduled time. There is no scheduled time to return somebody's email. Okay, because here's the thing, y'all, if it was that, yes, right? Okay, if it was that important, you ready for this? If it was that important for them to know the answer right then, what would they have done instead? I'll give you a second to answer. If it was that important for them to get in touch with you right then and there, what would they have done instead? And yeah, they would have called you. Okay. Listen, if they didn't pick up the phone and call me, then it's not that dire important. Okay. Now, are you ready for this? Even if someone calls you, if you are already busy doing something else, if you are already busy getting ready to go somewhere, do y'all know it's okay to let it go to voicemail? You know that. It's okay to let it go to voicemail. And then after it goes to voicemail, guess what? If they don't leave you a message, it wasn't that important. And if they do leave you a message, then you can listen to the message, determine the level of urgency, and if it's not something that has to be handled right then and there, and you are already busy doing something else, guess what you do? You put them on your to-do list to contact them when the time is appropriate. Okay? You do not just go ahead and, well, I'll just make this quick call, because it's rarely ever just a quick call. It's rarely ever as quick of a call back as what you think it's going to be. Okay? At least that I have found that to be my issue. And maybe that's because I talk too much. I don't know. But it's still, either way, it still comes down to there's a time and a place for everything. And it is totally appropriate for you to take 24 hours to contact anybody back, whether it is a comment on your Facebook post, whether it is an email, whether it is a text, it doesn't matter. Whether it's a phone call, okay? 24 hours is totally acceptable to be reaching back out to someone after they have contacted you. So stop putting yourself in the position like I have been, okay? Stop putting yourself in the position of basically running behind, of doing the things that you have scheduled, okay, instead of focusing on things that just kind of came in randomly and there's no specific time frame that you truly need to get back to that person, okay? There has been a rare occasion where someone in my downline will contact me. They're at a show and they have a question about something, etc. Now, listen, I love to be there for my downline, and for the most part, if I know that they have, that they got something going on, listen, I don't usually screen calls from my downline. Just so you know, I usually do pick up for them because I consider them family. So I do usually go ahead and pick up the phone if at all possible for them when they call, or if they text, I do tend to take a quick look at it to see if it's something that needs handled right then. Okay. There has been the rare occasion where they will be at a show, and guess what? I might be at a show too, which means I don't get a chance to get back to them. But do you know what happens? They become self-sufficient and they go find the answer themselves. They go look on the website, or they contact another jeweler, or they whatever, but they find the answer. Okay. So we tend to feel like, good morning, Myra. Sometimes I think we tend to put a little too much, I don't want to say importance on ourselves, because we are important. We are valued. Okay. But it's life and death does not depend on us getting back to that message. Does that make sense to you? Okay. So simply said, we are not the only place where people can get their questions answered. All right. So for the most part, if it is that much of an emergency, if they truly need the answer that much and they can't get in touch with you, they will find the answer. Okay. They just might have to actually do some research and go find the answer. So I'm only saying that. I'm not saying that so that you sit back and screen every call you ever get. I'm saying when you already have something that is scheduled to do. So whether it's that you are scheduled time to work in your business, maybe you are someone who takes, maybe you do like the power hour type thing, and you have 15 minutes set aside for specifically making calls for potential new bookings. You don't interrupt that 15 minutes to answer an email. Does that make sense? Okay. Schedule times. And this is something that I need to work on. So y'all, I am preaching to the choir here. Okay. This is something that I need to work on myself, which is I want to get in the habit of scheduling time to check my social media, to check my emails, etc. And if you schedule time, so let's say maybe you schedule a 15-minute time slot in the morning after you're where you need to be, a 15-minute time frame in the late afternoon, and then another one in the evening before bed. Okay, maybe you schedule 15 minutes all throughout the day, whatever, just so that you can pop on and take care of what it is that needs taken care of, and then get off of there. Then get off of there. And don't feel like as soon as you hear that little ding, like I'm thinking I'm going to take the ding off my phone so that when an email message comes through, I don't have to be notified. That I can just get on and check when it's scheduled for me to get on and check. I hope that makes sense to y'all. And I hope that perhaps, and thank y'all for those hearts, by the way. I always love seeing those hearts. That lets me know you guys are there. All right. So I hope that this possibly has helped you in some way, shape, or form. I hope that maybe this, who knows, maybe this was hitting you like a ton of bricks this morning, kind of like it was for me, where I'm going, okay, I need to make a change here. I need to make a change here because what I'm currently doing is not working the way that it should be. Like, I want to get to where this is basically like a well-oiled machine. And it becomes where instead of people expecting me to get back to them in a 5-minute time frame, that they come to expect that I will be reaching out to them within a certain number of hours versus that. You're so very welcome, Dylan, and thank you guys. So again, hope this helped you. Tomorrow is our Truth Be Told Thursday. So I did a little truth be telling today, didn't I? By telling on myself. Anyway, and I pray y'all understand and can appreciate that transparency. Okay, but tomorrow is our Truth Be Told Thursday. So that's where you get to ask me questions about kind of the who, what, where, when, how, why of what I do in my business. So maybe there's a certain area of your business that you are currently struggling with, or maybe that you're just looking for some new ideas in certain areas, that kind of thing. Feel free to come back tomorrow at 8 a.m. And yes, God willing, I will be here at 8 a.m. because y'all, I will not be checking my emails first thing in the morning anymore. I'm done. As a matter of fact, I may even decide, believe it or not, I may even decide to plug my phone in the living room. Can we? Like, is that something that we can do? I'm going to have to figure out a way to be able to have an alarm. Because my husband uses the alarm for him to get up for work. So I'll just have to figure out if our second alarm clock function does work. And if it does, I will be using that from now on instead of using my phone. Then that way I don't even have it back there. And then I can just get myself ready and I can be here at 8 o'clock as promised to be with all of you. So tomorrow is that Truth Be Told. Come on over tomorrow morning with your questions ready, and we will get through as many questions as we possibly can. I do still like to keep the Periscopes to ending right around 8:30 because I do also homeschool and we have other things that go on during the day and that kind of thing. So that's the other reason why I want to make sure that I'm here at 8 o'clock for you guys so that we have that full 30 minutes to be able to devote to you. So look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here. I pray that you all have a blessed day. And I just thank you guys for your patience. Thank you for dealing with me and putting up with me. And I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Thanks.